Woo! Welcome back to another episode of the Risk Takers Only podcast. I'm your boy, your host, Mike Upshire. Listen, you guys are tuning into a very I'm talking about a very special episode. Mm-hmm. Listen, I got my guy, my partner, my boy, my friend, whatever you want to call it. I got my guy Ron Jennings in the building. We got a good episode for you guys. We're going to be talking about the car sharing industry. Ron, tell him a little something, man. Ron just came in fresh off, man. We had an awesome work day today. And, man, we ready to give you guys the game today, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we want to do is just introduce you guys to the car sharing industry. You know, it became very popular over the last few years. Some people got in, some people got out, but, you know, we've gone on our third year. So we want to talk to you guys how to stay in this thing, how to be profitable, you know, how to share your experiences and, you know, grow together. So that's what we're here for, man. We just want to spread the knowledge.
Well, the knowledge is about to be spread. Guys, if you haven't already, please like, follow, subscribe. We're going to be talking about a couple different industries that I'm personally in, and I want you guys to have this knowledge. We talked about last week, the new $100,000 is $250K. And so if you haven't listened to the last episode talking about the freight brokers, listen to that. And then today is another industry that we're going to tell you that's going to put you right at that 250. You talking about the new 100,000? We're going to put you right there. Ron, I just want to talk to him first, though.
Okay.
How do we meet?
Oh, man, this story.
I just want you to tell me how we met, because this is a whole nother thing other than the car sharing industry. But how do we meet?
Okay, so I was actually Mike's banker. This was over 10 years ago. Mike, you know, he was a young entrepreneur. I was working at the bank at the time, and I would see Mike and his wife coming in all the time, you know, doing business transaction, and we just connected, you know. His wife was more quiet. you know, she would come in, do the transactions in and out. But Mike and I, we would chat it up. You know, we got to know each other. We connected on social media. And then, you know, we'll just have like a little banking relationship. You want to tell them about the whole story or just how we met?
Man, so we going to get into it. We're going to get the whole story. But just like Ron said, you know, one of the things we talk about, and we talked about last episode is TTP, talk to people. You know, get out there, talk to people, build relationships, because you never know. Back then, I think it was about 2000 and maybe 15, maybe 16, I think it was.
Yeah, probably 15, going to 16.
Going on 16. Yeah. And we're talking to each other. He's my banker at the time, and I would have never thought that till this day now he would be my partner. And so you never know, guys, you know, be a good steward, not just of money, but be a good relationship builder, someone who adds value. Just like he said, how we met. I don't remember all the details, but I remember he worked at, was it SunTrust, I think it was?
It was SunTrust at the time.
Worked at SunTrust. And I would come in, and me and my wife, we did business at SunTrust. So we come in, we would cash out. And back then, she was my girlfriend. And so we were young and dumb. We would come in, cash out. And I know he's watching us come in. And from that time, we built a relationship. And then, you know, in between, I think we lost contact just because I ended up moving out. You know, we were living in Baldwin Park at the time, and we ended up moving. And it was like, I think during like COVID time, around that time.
Yeah, it was COVID, because what happened was I was working at Bank of America at the time during COVID. And they needed some of the bankers to go to different branches to help out, because a lot of people were catching it, you know, this and that. And I just went over to the Waterford Lakes branch for maybe like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And then I see this guy walk in, and you can't miss Mike. When Mike walks in, you know that's Mike. There's no mistaking this guy. So he walks in with his son, and I was helping the customer, and I looked, and I was like, man, I know that guy. And it had been years since we like communicated, because, you know, you had moved, I moved, and all of this. And then I just went over and started talking to you, and I was like, hey, man, you remember me? He was like, yeah, I remember you. And we connected, and then that kind of started, that rekindled the relationship right there.
So 2015 going on 16, we first meet. 4 or 5 years later, 2020, 21, I think it is. Then we see each other. And I think that point on, we started to meet. I think you were just starting your company, J Financial. And he was going, you know, just bouncing ideas off my head. He had a bomb ebook that if you guys haven't checked it out, man, you got to check it out, talking about how to get out of debt. And long story short, you know, the family ended up hanging out. We went to the beach. And I remember that conversation. Remember that conversation at the beach? I'm gonna let him say it. I ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna let him say it. And guys, this is super key, because I can't stress it enough. Like, you can listen to everything that we're gonna talk about, and obviously you can do it on your own. But it also helps. Like Ron is a superpower that I have, that that I wouldn't be able to do certain things, Ron can get it done. And because of just the relationship, I didn't go into it. We didn't go into it saying we're going to make money off each other. It was just, I like him, how he operates. He likes me. Father. You know what I mean? Husband. That's the thing, guys. So, but that conversation at the beach.
So it was crazy. At that time, Mike and I, we were bouncing ideas off each other in the financial world because, he had a financial company. I had a financial company. So I was just telling him, and this is important what he said, TTP, talk to people. But you got to talk to the right people. Talk to people that can help you, with your goals, they can provide you resources. Just don't go tell everybody your business. You got to talk to people that's actually there or they're further ahead of you so they can help you out. So we're at the beach and I'm just telling Mike, I was like, man, I just want to make some extra money, you know what I'm saying, with the business, just so, my wife and I, we can pad our retirement, and that's it, and it didn't turn out like that. It didn't turn out like that. I just tell him how 6 months later, well, a little bit before that, Mike and I met up, and we had started, car sharing. We had got into TURO. We had built, about 5 or 6. We were making good money, and that thing was going. And Mike and I met up and was like, hey, man, we got some opportunities with the financial world and with the car sharing world. I was like, let's do both. So we partnered up officially, partnered up around November of that year.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, we went to the beach that summer, and literally 6 months after that, my wife and I, we left our jobs because of conversations that Mike and I had. He took my level of thinking to the next level and gave us the ability to say, you know what, if we do this and we do that, we can, leave our jobs and be full-time entrepreneurs. So that's kind of how that beach conversation. A big risk.
That was a big risk. You talk about risk takers. That was a risk. And just like he said, it was, I remember there was a time we spoke and Ron, I remember you were saying, I like my 9 to 5. Ron is a very simple guy. As you can see, me, I'm a little bit out there. Ron is a very simple guy. And it's funny because I remember he said, hey, listen, I like my 9 to 5. And I know you got a taste, just a little bit of a taste. And it wasn't even about the money. It was about the freedom, the freedom, getting back your time, and so we partnered up. And I remember it January. What date was it exactly? January
14th.
January 14th. Him and his wife, Rocio, they quit their jobs. They fired corporate. A lot of you guys are tuning into this podcast because that's the position that you want to be in. You want to be able to take that leap. And again, this is exactly for that. We want to be able to give you that little push, motivate you, inspire you, get you taking action, taking risks. Because at the end of the day, now you fast forward 3 years later, we sitting at this table, you see that hat, you see that shirt, and when we got some stuff to talk to you guys about. So now we're here, guys. Mm-hmm. And so, Ron, we are 3 years into TNT Rentals?
Yep, going on 3 years.
Going on 3 years. Can we talk a little bit about just our year last year and how we did in the car sharing space?
Yeah, so we had a strong year last year, but it was a year of transition. We started on TURO, and then we started to transition to do our own thing. But we figured out a lot in the business. We had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of ebbs and flows. But we were able to grasp what's going to really make this business long term. That was the ultimate goal. Is we don't want just to be in and out of this business. We want to figure out how we can pass this business down. So that whole last year was figuring out what was working, where we're losing money, what's making money, and then we restructured our whole fleet. we restructured
those last
everything.
3 months was it was a lot going on. Yes. I feel like 3 to 4 or 5 months.
It was very intense. And while we're doing all these changes, we're still having to operate the business. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we say, okay, we're going to slow down operations. It's like, no, we're doing everything at once. So we were able to accomplish that last year, and it took us into this year with some big plans.
Big plans. So last year, out of all the ebbs and flows and the changes and transitions, because mind you, that was year 2 for us. We're in year 3 now. We ended up last year having a pretty good year. We did 640?
Yeah, it's about $643.
$643,000.
Yeah.
This is year 2. This is a business that, again, he just told you, he quit. He fired corporate. Him and his wife fired corporate, started this business, and 2 years later, $643,000. And I'm proud to be a part of it. The main thing, he runs it all, man. He runs it all, and he has the knowledge that makes the engine go. And so today, really like we talked about, that $643,000, you guys can do it too. It's not like, Ron, do you got a college degree?
I do. Not in car sharing, though.
Do I? Hold on. Do you got a rent-a-car license?
Nope. Never had one.
How many businesses have you opened up before this one?
Just one, and that wasn't in car sharing.
and what did you do before this?
I was a banker.
He's a banker.
Yep.
So I'm telling you guys, it's nothing special. I don't have a college degree. I've been arrested 3 to 4 times. Probably a C average. So it's not like we're doing something special. Really, what it is just you putting your big boy pants on, taking the risk, and getting to work.
That's it.
And so I want to start. A lot of people, they're asking, what is car sharing? Because you keep hearing us say that terminology. And so, what is car sharing, Ron?
So, in the simplest form, is peer to peer. It's, hey, I got a car. You want to use it. I'm going to let you use my car. That's it. You got some logistical things in the middle of that, but that's all it is. It's not like your traditional, rent-a-car, company with enterprise. It's not B2B or B2P where it's business to person. It's literally, we're neighbors and you want to use my car and you're going to pay me for it. That's car sharing in its entirety right there.
So, and I remember even thinking about this when I was first learning about the industry. What is the damn difference between car sharing and car renting or owning a rent-a-car company? So
it's basically the licenses. So with traditional rent-a-car companies, they're usually you have to have a certain license depending on your county and your state and your city. And this license is basically saying that you have a surety bond that's anybody can go against if something happens, whatever it may be. Where you got car sharing, where it's highly unregulated. You don't have to have a certain office. You can rent it out of your house. You don't have to have a certain license.
Sounds like a low barrier to entry.
Exactly. Yeah. Very low barrier. That's why literally you can buy a car today and have it running tomorrow without a formal business license or anything like that. So it's an easier way to get into the world of, renting out your car.
Okay. And so I know, people at home, they're probably asking themselves, what is like the startup cost for a car, let's just say car sharing industry. What is the startup cost for something like that? We know it has a low barrier to entry,
right?
Which a lot of people, again, you're talking about other industry that you have to take like insurance. People talk about insurance, real estate. You got to pass those exams. And so this, again, a low barrier to entry, but what is a startup cost now?
Yeah. So I'll tell you my startup cost. Everyone has a different startup cost depending on how big you want to start, how small. I tell the story all the time. My wife and I, we got a check from refinancing our house for $5,500. We went and bought a car for $5,000, a Nissan Versa, and then we took the other $500 and we bought some like equipment and stuff like that, car wash stuff to get the car going. Our total startup cost was $5,500. $5,500.
And the $5,500 came from a check.
It came from a check. Yep.
So you guys out there, because it's tax time, and I know you guys is waiting. You guys is waiting for that check to come in, and I already know some of you ballers out there got the chain, got the car, got the rims you guys want. You already got the club and bottle reservations. I'm just going to say, slow it down real quick. Set aside maybe $55,000. Just set it aside in a shoebox, if you want to. But just set it aside. You said $5,500 how you started this empire. And today, last year, as of 2023, $646,000 ran through that account. Guys, listen, don't miss the ball, man. Don't miss the ball on this. Okay, so now, what is your typical day? What's the typical day? And I know what the typical day is. I'm trying to put y'all on game. All right. So what is the typical day like?
So typical day is everything is automated at this point. So by the nighttime, most people book a few hours in advance or a day in advance. You don't have a lot of people that book, weeks out. So before you end your day, you'll know what you have going out tomorrow. So first thing in the morning, you go through those, you get those cars prepped. Whether you're getting them washed or, taking pictures, you get that done. After you get your cars done, that's the first thing you want to make sure. It doesn't matter what time that car goes out for the day. It don't matter if it goes out at 5 p.m. and you got there at 8. get that car ready because anything can happen. They're cars. Something can break down. You know, you can find out, oh, my tag is expired. I didn't even know it expired. I got to go get a new tag real quick before I let this thing go out on the trip. So get all that stuff done. And then after that, you know, depending on the day, you're just working on your admin things. And then you're working on, you know, marketing and things like that. Finding out how to get the name out there. You know, we have TNT Rentals. We're trying to make that a household name. So it's like, what can I do to keep, you know, getting our name in front of people so they'll be talking about us more? So I would say the first half of the day is getting the cars ready. The second half of the day is usually admin stuff and marketing stuff.
So when he said that, I know everyone's like, so you just, what do you mean when you say get the cars ready?
Yeah, so that's taking them to the wash. Like, we take ours to a car wash. Some people do it on site. We take ours to
you mean get the cars ready, literally washing cars? That's the day to day.
Oh yeah.
Washing cars.
You got to get your hands dirty.
And I know y'all sitting out there. Again, I want to keep coming back to it because we're not doing this for free. It's again at the end of the day to provide for our families and others. And so you talking about $600,000 and some $1,000 washing cars? Ron and I got a saying, and we got a saying that we're gonna hashtag it. If you, Ryan, you got to hashtag it for us. Listen. Boring money. Boring money. Our industries that we're in, we talked about the freight brokerage last week, and we're talking about the car sharing industry. These are boring industries. It's not like selling a home. Oh, I flipped the home or closing. No, you get up, you scrub some cars, you take a phone call from a truck driver who may curse you out to book some mulch and soil, so you're physically selling shit. I mean, guys, these are boring industries, but the boring industries make you the money.
They make you the money.
They make you the money. And so the day-to-day typically, like Ron was just saying, is getting the cars prepared. You know, if you're starting off on the car sharing industry, you're probably on TURO, which we'll talk a little bit about the marketing and how you get the leads and all that. But you're getting your bookings. And like Ron said, you probably want to prepare a day ahead, get your cars ready, get them cleaned up, prepped, ready to go. And then when he says admin work, what is the admin work that you do?
Yeah, so some things you're going to have to, you know, be hands-on with, and that's going to be when you get tickets in the mail. Your people, especially in Orlando, your people are going to be, you know, getting tickets, you know, from downtown, whatever it may be, because parking is limited. You know, you may have toll tickets. You know, you can get your toll set up with the cars, but sometimes you may have toll tickets depending on what toll they went to. So you have to know things like that, registrations, you know, we have a fleet to where we got to make sure all the registrations are up to date. So you'll be getting those things in the mail. So when it comes to admin, that's everything that has to do with making sure that car can stay on the road, because it all affects that car being able to go out. So that's why we have to tackle the admin stuff, make sure that it's all in order, because once you slip up on admin stuff, that's when you're going to start getting the fines in the mail because you paid late or whatever it may be, or they're going to start restricting your vehicle, especially on TURO. TURO, if you don't have your tag updated, they will restrict your vehicle and fine you. So you're going to be losing money both ways. So that admin part, I hate admin.
It sounds like you got to be organized.
Yeah,
and if you're not organized, you better get organized.
And I had to learn it myself because I lost money because I was being lazy with admin. So I would say if you don't like it, hey, learn to like it. What'd you say?
No, I was joking. I said we lost money because he was late. No. So the typical day to day, like you said, how long does that take you from doing, you know, the car prep to the admin work?
Yeah. So I would say on a typical day, car prep can be about 3 hours because we have a system, we get them in and out. And then admin, I would say about an hour and a half. And then the rest of that day is just marketing, whether it's calling,
mental work.
Calling businesses, you know, going to meet up face to face with businesses or whatever it may be.
So you would say maybe 6 hours at that?
A full
if
day.
You really want to sit there all day?
If I had to quantify it, it'd be about 6 hours.
About 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
And that's trying to maximize it. And so the physical labor, again, is in the cleaning of the cars, maybe the admin work and making calls. But again, that's still you controlling your time. And so I think that's just awesome. I think that's awesome. How many hours did you used to work when you worked at Bank of America?
I was 40 plus.
40 plus.
Yeah.
40 plus hours. And did Bank of America throw the 600 in too?
Nah, not even close.
I'm just saying.
Not even close.
So now the day-to-day doesn't sound too hard. It sounds like I can do it.
Very simple.
We can do it. They can do it, right? Yeah. So the next question is, and I can just hear it right now, like, where do we get the cars? we gotta have a product for the people to want. Right, and so where do we get the cars? How do we get them? How did you start out and you paid $5,500 just about, and you had one car. How many cars do we have now?
43.
43 cars. Did we pay $5,500 for 43 cars? Did we?
No, we did.
Guys, so one of the things that I know we talked about today that we want to make sure we give you is how to get these cars. That's the main thing. That's one of the hardest points in the industry. Can we talk a little bit about how we first started getting the cars?
Yeah. So we were cash heavy. We were cash heavy. We put a lot of capital up to get, older model cars. And, that worked in the beginning. They worked out, but they're older model cars, so there was a lot of mechanical issues, downtime, mechanics at my lot, weekly. So after looking at the numbers, that was one of the transitions. We said, look, man, we gotta get some new cars on this thing, because with the renters, you got so many renters in and out, and so many people drive differently, so many different driving patterns that, things are going to mess up. People are going to break this and break that. Yep. But with newer cars, it's less likely to get broken because it's less wear and tear. So we started out with the cash cars, and then we went into, financing cars.
Okay. And so when you say financing the cars, that's a different ballgame, because if you type in right now on YouTube, you're going to have a million ways from financing cars. One of the things is, guys, when you talk about financing, before you talk about it, you need to just work on your credit. You always hear all these things, and you guys, people think you can run from it, but it's going to come back to bite you one way or another. You got to work on your credit, and business credit is something that you guys should work on. For business credit, guys, I know there's you guys need help. Some of you guys have new businesses open. I have business trade lines. If you do need any help increasing your business credit and you have good personal credit, reach out. Again, there's going to be a link in the show notes. Again, I have business trade lines that will help you improve your business credit. And I'm not talking personal. I'm talking about business. And if you can find some business trade lines, you're the right guy to meet. So I'm just letting you know. But the car acquisitions, when we first got started, like you said, we were cash heavy. And so we were buying a lot of cars cash, and it was a good thing because we owned the cars. We didn't have any payments. But at the end of the day, we had a lot of issues. A lot of issues with the breakdowns and just little things. And also for where we were headed with our brand and our fleet, we wanted our brand to be something a little bit more luxury, reliable. And so there was a time that we started to just go and finance the vehicles. And we were financing them under different businesses. Under our own personal, we were personal guaranteeing it, but we were financing under different businesses. Some of our businesses had really good credit, so we didn't need to be the PG. And so can we talk a little bit about that and give them a little game on what we learned at that angle, the allies, which ones are not going to report, because I think that's key for you guys starting out. And even at that, we're going to give you a little gem. We ain't going to give you all the sauce, because we ain't going to give you all the sauce, but we're going to give you a little gem to help you guys get started, because all of this stuff, literally, you're skipping the line. When you're talking about paid mentorships, this is what I would pay for. This is what you would pay for to essentially skip the line and not go through all that. Because I think we went through, we had about $70,000, $80,000, and we went through it through cash cars, and now it's a learning process that we can stand on and say, hey, we've learned it. And so if you can, talk to them a little bit about the acquisition process with buying them under the business, how we were doing in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. So business financing can be complex, but once you figure it out, it's easy. Mike and I, we can go to a dealership right now and buy our fleet, no problem. And when they see us coming, they're going to know, okay, they're coming for this, because we've spent so much time in research and just being inside a dealership to find out how they operate, how the financing companies operate, what they're looking for, what they don't like, to where we can pretty much, pull the trigger whenever we need to finance. But in the beginning, it took a lot of work, because I'm going to be honest with you, and, I'm not trying to be negative towards the dealers and the finance managers.
Negative Nancy.
In the business world, when it comes to financing, it's an untapped world. A lot of people don't know what's happening in it. So we would find out information and tell the dealership how to do it. And it came from trial and error, because we would finance a car, and it was supposed to report this way, and it didn't report this way, so we had to get them to go fix it. I got Mike on the phone, I'm on the phone, the dealer's on the phone, the finance person. it's like it was a big mess, but all of that led us to being able to say, okay, we know exactly which finance companies to work with. We know what they like. So when it's time to go buy a car, it's no problem for us.
Yep.
We just had to be very strategic, once we got the knowledge to say, okay, we know exactly what we need to do in order to, add the cars that we want now. So it took a little while to get there, but we're at that place now and we're still learning. We don't have it all, but we have enough. Because altogether, we put about 70 cars through this business. Yeah. We have 43 now, but
we got 43 now. Sorry to interrupt, but we have 43 now, and we really could. We can go more anytime.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about it, the marketing aspect of it. But again, we've cracked the code. That's one code that we were looking to crack, and that has officially been cracked as far as the car acquisitions. Because when we first got started, like he said, a lot of it was trial and error. We would say, okay, we know we want to put it under the business name, so we would PG some of them and then put it under our business names. We would open up a couple different businesses, and now you realize that these dealerships, you can find whatever dealership, and you would have to build the relationship. They offer you plans where you can go get your fleet all at once. What was the most you've ever gotten at once? The thing, like I'm saying, when you're buying these cars, when we first got started, a lot of, our trial and error came from us just, okay, we want to buy a car. We see a car. We got good credit. Run it. We'll go ahead and be a personal guarantor on it. We had a business. So we say, okay, if we can put it under the business, we can. If not, we'll put it on our personal name. And doing that, guys, is going to affect your DTI, your debt to income ratio, especially with the cars you have personally, especially with this business. It's a cash flowing business. So at the end of the day, you shouldn't be using your own money. You should be using the bank's money. And so with all that cash that's flowing through the business with every single rental, you should be leveraging your personal credit to go get lines of credit and loans from the bank and credit cards from the bank at the end of the day. But again, the way we were doing it was just, hey, taking risks. We said, hey, we need to build up the fleet. And so, again, we started by just personally guaranteeing the cars. And we would just go to any dealership really that we felt like would give us a couple cars until I think it was one day we cracked the code and there was one dealership that we walked out with how many cars?
We did 10 at that one.
10 cars.
Yeah.
10 cars. 10 cars at once. And so the game, guys, if you don't understand, there are dealerships out there that if you guys build a relationship and you do your research, they'll essentially grant you, what is it, like a car fleet or like a car loan?
Yeah, they have like fleet loans, like fleet line
loans
of credit and things like that.
And we're not a rent-a-car company, so you don't have to be a big corporate company like Enterprise or something like that to think that you can't get that offered to you. This is year 2 for us. And so, but it's through trial and error. Again, a lot of trial and error. Also, too, I want to let these guys know there are some lenders out there that will not report to your personal credit. I'm going to give you one. Ally Financial is one of them, that if you do an auto loan under the business, they will not report to your personal credit. Any others? Give them one other for me.
I'm not going to give y'all a name.
Don't give them all of them.
I'm not going to give y'all a name, but I'm going to tell you most credit unions won't report.
Oh, I like that.
If you do it through business.
I like that.
So you guys, because I want you guys to do your research.
I like that. Because they're going to listen to it and they're going to jump back on. They're going to start playing Xbox again and they're going to go back to let them do a little work for it.
Do a little research.
I got something real quick. I had a mentor and a friend, and he would always tell me about reading books. And he would have the books that he's telling me to read on the damn bookshelf. So he would tell me about the book, and I'm like, well, can I just grab it? He was like, no. He was like, you go buy it. And I'm like, why? He was like, well, if I give it to you, the likelihood of you reading it is probably slim to none versus if you put your sweat equity into getting up, going to the bookstore, paying it with your cash, or however you buy it, you put that effort in to do it, the chances of you reading it are a little bit more higher. And so just like you just said, the knowledge, guys, listen, we can give you all the game. You're not going to disrupt our business. Trust me on that. But the thing is that all of this that we're telling you is going to involve some effort. It's going to involve some hard work. It's going to involve some sweat equity. It's going to involve some missed time, some missed outings. But you're going to have to do it, and you'll be at the position you want. And so getting the cars was hard for us, but we cracked that code. And like you said, our record was 10 cars. And if we wanted to, we can go get another 10 right now. We can get another 10. I want to talk a little bit about the pricing. Because I know we mentioned that was one thing, that having the cars is one thing, but actually pricing them to be able to get rented out and actually make money off of them is another thing.
Yes. So pricing is a beast within itself. So market to market, everyone has a different price. So if I got a friend,
what is our market, by the way?
Orlando market.
Orlando market,
yeah,
by the way.
Yeah, Orlando market. So if I got a Honda Civic and my Honda Civic goes for X amount of dollars, but, you know, I got a guy that I know over in California. He's in L.A. His Honda Civic goes for, you know, X amount of dollars. I may think that I'm going to get what he's getting, or he may think he's going to get what I'm getting. That is not how it works. It's literally market to market, and there's so many factors even within your market that you just have to use trial and error with the pricing.
So you're saying if I have a Honda Civic and I'm in California, you have a Honda Civic in Florida, us making the same dollar amount is unlikely?
Nope. You may be killing it in Cali.
Okay.
My Civic may not be doing anything in Orlando. Simply because the people who want it, they may be of a different demographic or they have a different need, you know. So we had to figure out pricing. We had a lot of conversations about, even to this day we have conversations about pricing, because it's never just, you know, you can't use stagnant pricing.
It's not a one-size-fit-all type deal.
Nope. You'll never just be able to figure out. That's why companies put so much money into tools that can do market analysis. That's one of the biggest things in the industry. People pay a lot of money to figure out how to get their pricing correct. So with us, we had a lot of times where we were saying, you know, we're going to make the price that. And then our utilization hit the floor. It was like, well, that's not a good price, obviously. Yep. And then sometimes we had the price, you know, too low and the utilization was too high and we weren't making profit. So we had to find that balance. And, you know, we're still finding that balance because so many factors happen. You know,
talking about like holidays.
Exactly.
If you got a, you know, an event that's going on, what is the event that everyone go to? You know,
the Comic-Con and all of that stuff.
Comic-Con,
Pro Bowl just came.
Pro Bowl. There was another one that I'm thinking about when they have the HBCU.
The Classic Weekend.
The Classic Weekend. You know, everyone want to rent. And so, like you're saying, it's not a one size fits all. You know, different events throughout the year, and depending on where you're from. Like if you're in Las Vegas, you're gonna have a lot more events than we have here in Orlando. But also understanding your market. Orlando is an economy car market, you know, so it's different than just saying, hey, and even in Florida, you could say, hey, cool, I'm in Florida, I'm going to do economy cars, but you're in Miami, so you may have a better time doing exotics, a little bit more luxury type vehicles in Miami versus here in Florida. And so that's key, guys, like you said, and even me, you know, when we first got started in partners, I partnered with Ron strictly because he had, and I didn't even say this, but I partnered with Ron strictly because he was studying the industry. You know, and I wanted to partner with someone who lived and breathed this industry, and that's what he does. And so just knowing, and I'm thinking like, cool, let's go ahead and get a whole bunch of these X amount Suburbans and all these vehicles, and we're going to just rent them out. BMWs, get a whole bunch of them, and yes, Suburbans and BMWs work in our market, but what is our fleet mainly made of? And we have 43 cars right now, 43 cars. What is the fleet primarily made of right now?
So 80% of our fleet is economy. So this is anything from compacts to mid-size sedans, you know,
vehicles I can't even fit in.
Literally,
we can't even fit in.
Literally, small SUVs, things like that. We do have some outliers with luxury cars and bigger SUVs, but our bread and butter are the smaller economy cars. They just go because in Orlando, if you live in Orlando, you know everything is spaced out.
Yep.
You know, you got to travel 20, 30 minutes to get to, you know, one area. So people like the gas savers. So that's been the bread and butter for us.
Yep. And so when we talk about pricing the vehicles, guys, you know, so you got, you know, your TURO host, and so I think that's something to speak about, because we started out on TURO for the first 2 years, and we're still on TURO now, but we're slowly weaning ourselves off, and we're turning our full fleet into private. And so right now, just starting off on TURO, the pricing is different because you're pricing against someone that they bought the car that they knew they couldn't afford, or they bought a car and they're not really home and they got to make the payment, so they rent it out just to make the payment. Versus you're looking to profit off of these vehicles. And so the pricing is a little bit key. You know, we're going to talk a little bit, but I think the main thing is you guys got to understand, you're not looking to make a home run off of each car. Right. The reason why you have a fleet is because it's with volume that you're going to really be able to make the money that you're looking to make. And so, can we talk a little bit about pricing specifically on TURO with different hosts in our market, at least?
Yeah, absolutely. So with TURO, I don't like to use the word oversaturated, because that's kind of like for me, that's a loser's term, because I feel anybody.
That's a cop-out.
Yeah, that's a cop-out.
Cop-out.
The perfect way to say that's a cop-out, because anyone that really wants to make it work will find a way to make it work, whether it be exceptional customer service or doing something different with your cars. You know, when we got into business, everyone was getting in and said, "Oh, it
was a free for all."
You know, everyone was getting in
during COVID. Courses was out.
Yes,
courses was out there. We may put a course out, y'all, but it's not COVID, so it's actually going to have some good stuff.
Exactly.
But
so that was the thing. Everyone was getting in. Everyone was making money. And then when it died down, everyone started saying it's oversaturated.
I'm out of here.
Exactly. And you saw a lot of
fleets.
people selling off the fleets. But, you know, for us, what we did was we said, okay, what's the trend, you know, with pricing? What does this host offer that I don't offer that may be getting them a higher rate? And can we offer that? You know, what's going to keep our people coming back? So even if my pricing is higher than the next person, because I may have a Corolla and then there may be 50 more Corollas just within my zip code that's available. Like, what's going to make me different? And what we found out is that we can keep around the same prices, even a little bit higher. But the customer service is what keeps people coming back. The convenience, you know, how easy is it for you to come, you know, get a car? You know, even if your price is a little bit higher, I'm going to him because I like that experience, you know, whereas I can go get it a little bit cheaper, but I didn't like that experience. So I don't want to deal with that anymore. So that's how we started to kind of control the pricing, especially amongst, you know, other hosts in the area.
And sometimes too, guys, you got to realize too, it's not a let me charge the max and get the most, or let me charge the lowest and make sure my car's rented out, because it's a give or take.
Yeah.
You charge the most, you may get the renters that you want, but you don't get your car rented as much as you want. You charge the least, and now you got any and everyone renting out your car. Right. And so again, it's going to differ by the market, which, you know, you can do your own market research and just see, you know, and it's as simple as going on TURO and seeing what primary cars that you're seeing on TURO. Those are the ones. It's as simple as that. Any other ways for them to research their market and see, you know, what is really working?
Yeah. I'm gonna take it back to TTP. Talk to people. Don't be scared to reach out to other people that have the same size fleet as you. And don't go at it like, oh, it's competition. Technically it is, but you can find the right people, because what happens is when you research, you know, certain markets and you have certain tools that you can research, it doesn't always give you the most accurate, you know, pricing. Yep. Because, for instance, this guy can be charging this much, but he may offer airport delivery. You may not be able to get that number because you don't offer airport delivery. So therefore, you got to say, well, maybe my price can't be what his is because I don't offer that, and I just don't have a logistical way to do it. So you want to talk to these people to say, okay, well, I know you're doing this. How is that working out for you? Because one thing you don't know is their utilization. That's one thing, like, people think when they see a price, they say, oh, okay, well, he's doing it, then he must be doing good, because he may have the worst utilization, and like you said earlier, he may not want to have high utilization because he just wants to make the payment, whereas you're trying to make a profit. So what I did was I started connecting with other hosts in the area. Hey, man, this is what I got going on, and we started building partnerships to where I could see.
No, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you remember that guy that we worked with? I don't remember who he was, but he was by the airport. And we would deliver the cars. And so even like we talk about the relationships, when we first got started, we would have, there was another host that Ron had met. You met him through a Facebook group? Met him through a Facebook group that he would, what would we do? We would drop the cars off. He would clean them. We would just manage the rentals, like the bookings. Once it's booked, you just let him know, hey, got a new booking, and he'd get it cleaned up, and they would deliver it to the airport sometimes. And again, that was a totally different host that we were able to make money off of together. And so, like you said, guys, everyone out here, they're not your competition. It's always friendly competition. You want to be the best nationally. If you don't want to be the best, you shouldn't be in the industry. But at the end of the day, guys, hey, listen, you know, there is a good amount of money in just building strong relationships. Partnerships equal rocket ships. You know, so I like that. I just wanted to add to that because I just remember him as you were saying that. I remember him, us working with him before.
No, that's a perfect example, because what happened was we started, because they were farther along, they had a bigger business. They were able to tell us some stuff that elevated our business. And then sometimes they'll call me up and say, hey, I don't have a car. We're all out. Do you have something? We would just kind of throw business, back that way. So I would say when it comes to something like pricing, yeah, you want to do your research, but you got to get out and talk to people that's in your industry and that's further down the road, because they literally can change your whole business within one conversation.
Yeah. We know how to get the cars. When we have the cars in our possession, we know how to price the cars. Now, how do we get people to want to, rent the cars? Like, how do we get people to want to rent these cars?
Mm-hmm. So a lot of it is going to come from word of mouth. Now, if you're just doing TURO, we'll talk about TURO. TURO is going to feed you. They're going to feed. As long as you got a good reputation on TURO and your pricing is good, they're going to feed you. And then you can do your own marketing. But Mike and I, we spoke about it. It's like, Can
I ask you TURO? Because a lot of them may not know TURO. How does that work?
So TURO is the #1 car sharing platform. Basically, they have created a system. It's a plug-and-play system. You take your car, as long as it meets their eligibility, you put it on their platform, and they're going to send people to rent your car. And all you got to do is get it ready, prep it. They're going to tell you how long they're going to rent it. They're going to do all the calculations. It's literally all you got to do is provide the car. They do everything for you.
But he's missing one thing, because they ain't going to do it for free.
Nope.
They ain't going to do it for free.
And that's
so why they're doing all this for free, not in the USA.
Nope. So they take a percentage. Because of how easy it is, they're going to take a percentage, and that's going to be anywhere from 10%, up to 40%.
40?
Yeah. Yeah. And
so hold on. Like 10 to 40%, that's the big gap. How do I know what they're going to take?
So you can pick what, plans you want, and a lot of it is dependent on deductibles and insurance and things like that. So the
it's kind of like insurance.
Exactly.
The more you pay, the less the more you pay in, or the bigger percentage they take, the better deductible, or the better the coverage is, I guess. The less the less money that they take, you're gonna have a higher payment out of your pocket.
Yep. Higher risk, versus lower risk type of thing. So
by the way, what payment plan are we on right now?
We've always been on the 75-25 plan, and that's the most profitable yet still conservative plan.
Give you the coverage you need at the end of the day.
So you can make money on it, but you won't lose a lot of money when it comes to accidents. So most people in the industry, they recommend that plan. It's either that 60-40 plan, where it's very low risk, no deductible, but not a lot of profit. And then you got the high risk plan, which is a 90-10 plan.
Those for you risk takers.
Yeah, that's the, and we want risk takers only. So maybe we need to move to the 90 plan.
Negative. I like the model we on. See, we take calculator risk. I ain't just telling you to jump off a cliff without no parachute. All right, you gotta take a calculator risk, right?
Exactly.
But so TURO, I want to talk about TURO because that is going to help build your business, guys. You're talking about getting into the car sharing space and becoming a real car rental business, having your own fleet, renting out privately. TURO, and we talk about it like it's a cake. The bottom layer of the cake is usually the foundation, which is usually the roots. That's going to be the strength, where the strength comes in. When it starts to get to the top, the top is a little bit, wobbly and all that, but your foundation is that bottom, and TURO is your foundation, guys. TURO does all the marketing for you. You don't have to do a single ad. You don't have to do nothing on Facebook. You don't have to post anything. And if you just sign up for TURO and post your car on TURO, you're going to start getting people booked as long as you have the right pricing. And so that is going to be #1 marketing for you guys getting started. And this is just help. TURO really just helps you also learn the business. You get to learn the in and outs without having to take that hard pitfall, if you were to just doing it on your own or privately. So TURO's #1. Anything else in TURO? Because I know, I know we didn't make $600,000 just off of TURO now.
No.
We need a little help now. TURO taking that 25%. So
yeah. I mean, you kind of wrapped it up in a nutshell with TURO. TURO makes it easy for you to, build a solid foundation, in this business, because this is a very high risk business. High cash flow, but it's a lot of things that can happen, whether it be accidents, stolen vehicles, repos, whatever you can think of, it can happen with your vehicles. But TURO takes care of all of that. That's the good thing about it. It's a great support system, But at the end of the day, because TURO does all of that, they do take a chunk out of it, and because of, rates may not be the highest, the chunk can be, you know, pretty big to some people. And for a profitable company, you know, in order to stay profitable, you got to make sure that the chunk isn't, you know, going to continue to be that big. So that's kind of what TURO is in a nutshell. But, you know, we do both, but TURO is the foundation. That's what we built it off of.
And so TURO is the foundation. Now that we're making a transition, and the transition now, we're private. We I think last year, we have 20% just about was private?
Yeah, about 15 to 20% of the utilization was on private.
So we basically had about 80% utilization on TURO, and then 20% on private. And the private side, when I talk about private, the thing is we're talking about renting the cars out privately, meaning we're having to do our own marketing. You know, we're having to take our own referrals, and all of that works. But now we adopted pay-per-click. We got into pay-per-click. And that's another marketing strategy that we're learning right now. Shout out to One Source Marketing and Brandon. You know, my guy Ryan, he's helping us out. And that is a game changer for us. And so our 2024 goals are huge. Like, we're talking about doubling what we did. We're talking about 1.2 mil plus what we did this year. And the thing is just really because of private. And so, you know, TURO is going to be your foundation, but where you're going to see the real growth is when you start building your own brand. You don't have to pay for pay-per-click ads. That's what we're doing, but building your own brand. So privately for us, we do pay-per-click, but also it's a matter of getting your ass up and getting out there and talking to people, like he said. You know, a lot of the private that we had last year was not through pay-per-click. It was more so just through our referral sources, people that have worked with us in the past, renters on TURO. Now they come directly to us privately. You're talking about going to hotels. Remember, you're going to hotels and you know, mechanic shops and auto body shops and walk-ins and that's a lot of what you guys can do, and you actually can control without having to say I have a big dollar amount of dollar spend or ad spend. You know, and that's how you can get started and get in the door. One of the things too is the relationships too, like he said, offering referral programs. You guys, everyone that rents out a car on TURO has so much data. Like, you're talking about, you know, you have the renter's name. Sometimes you get the email. I don't know, the phone number I don't think we get, but sometimes we get the email. You have so much data on your clients. You can literally take that and you have the perfect avatar or person that you can go out and market to, because the people that rent from you on TURO are going to be the same people that's going to rent from you privately. And so really the marketing is key. TURO is going to get you guys started, but then and we're not masters at pay-per-click. I'm not going to take you through a whole training at pay-per-click and all of that stuff, but at the end of the day, you guys had to try to do something. You got to look in your market and what works for you. You know, specifically for us in Orlando, there's a lot of mechanic shops everywhere, and so they're always seeing people that the car may need to. They come and bring their car and they get told, hey, we need to keep it for the next couple of days. Well, isn't that someone that you may want to partner with that says, hey, you know, okay, if you need a car, call TNT Rentals, right? Or we talked about something recently, Airbnb hosts. You know, if you have homes and you're an Airbnb host, we want to partner with you. We have quality cars. I'm talking about BMW X6s. We got Dodge Durango RTs. We got Suburbans. We got Nissans. Your hosts is staying at a quality location, so give them a quality car to use while they're on their vacation. And all of this is going to take some effort. It's not a matter of you paying some money to go find this host. You got to get out there and you got to talk to people. You got to shake some hands. You got to add some value. And so you got now how we get the cars. You understand how we're pricing these cars, and you understand how we're marketing the cars. Right now, guys, I think we're good. We're going to end the podcast. This is Risk Takers Only. He thought we were going to end the podcast for real. Listen, we gave you game right now. You can get started. So even if you just cut it off now, guys, you can take action today. Literally. He liked that one.
This guy,
he thought we were going to finish. But guys, I'm joking because, listen, the information now is enough for you to get started. Like, you have more information than me and him had before we got started. You have way more information. And so there's some other things too that I want to touch on, because I really want you guys to. I want 2024 got to be explosive, not just for me, but for you guys too. 2024 is going to be explosive for my partner Ron and his family. It's going to be explosive for me. It's going to be explosive for One Source and Ryan back there. It's going to be explosive for everyone. And so the game that we're giving the guys, listen, if you have any questions, you want to follow with us, you want coaching, you just want to, ask additional questions that we may not have covered, follow the link in the show notes. I'm also going to be tagging Ron. You're going to be able to follow Ron as well. Listen, The game is free. You just got to find it. I want to talk about technology.
Well,
I think technology, and this applies to us, technology has been a game changer for us.
Yes.
Can we talk a little bit about technology, our growth from first start to where we're at right now?
Yeah, for sure. So, man, we were able to pretty much automate everything. I said that earlier, but I'm going to tell you what that means is from the time someone books a car to the time they return it, everything, messages, extensions, all of that stuff, payments. And we're talking about on our independent side, because on TURO, they take care of all of that, you know. But we were able to create a system to where now everything is taken care of. So we don't have to go in and do so many manual things now. So we have an app now. We have the website now. You know, we have everything that a renter can, from point A to Z, they can literally get everything taken care of without even having to talk to us.
We can even tell if they started looking on our website and stopped and didn't complete the checkout.
Yep.
We can tell all of that from that technology.
Absolutely. We can see the cars that they looked at, you know, so we can kind of understand, okay, well, you know, we got data to see, well, these people are picking these cars, or these people didn't finish because maybe, you know, this was too complicated for them. So we have to, you know, figure out, hey, what's working and what's not. But the technology has taken us to another level in this business. And I know you guys know about the larger, you know, rental car companies and things like that. But the number one investment, you would think it would be cars. It's not that. It's technology for them. If you notice, car rental companies, car sharing companies, whatever it may be, they're always trying to figure out how to make it easier for the person that's renting the car. So it can be apps, it can be, you know, QR codes that they just put anywhere, any place you can go to, you can find a QR code and rent a car and have someone deliver it to you. So that's where technology has taken us, and you know, we're excited about this year because we're really implementing more things to make it easier for the renter. And it's an investment, it's a monetary investment, but the return is so great on it.
Yeah. For those of you guys, when you guys start making your money, don't piss it away. Make sure you save it because it will, you know, come back tenfold when you reinvest. And like Ron was saying, technology is something that I know for him because Ron does a lot of the day-to-day. And, you know, just being able to, you know, be relieved and not having to speak to everyone for bookings. You know, now they can go directly to the site. They can check out everything. They can select every little thing that they want. If they want down to a toll, they can select the toll, the insurance. They can do everything off that site. And I know, you know, a lot of you guys right now, if you're not getting started, the technology really doesn't, you know, move you. But TURO does a lot of that for you. And it's like a safety net. So I want you to understand, TURO is easy to get started for you guys because they offer all of that. They offer all of that, the insurance and all that. But the minute you try to, what they say, step off the porch. The minute you step off the porch and you want to try to do something privately, which that's where the real growth is at, you guys have to understand technology is going to be a big key. And a lot of you guys are going to be a one-woman, one-man show, doing it all by yourself. And so don't think that you're going to be able to do everything that you want, make the money you want, and come back home and live the life you want. You're going to need some help, and technology can really help you guys out. We're going to start wrapping it up, guys, in a little bit, but I wanted to end it right now and talk about the actual growth and opportunity that there is in this industry, because we're just scratching the surface as we transition to private. But what other opportunities that you see, not just renting cars, so we're a car sharing company now, but what opportunities and growth do you see for us in the future?
Yeah, for sure. So the greatest thing about this industry, there's so many different avenues that you can go down, especially when you have a diverse fleet. So for instance, if you wanted to start, you know, renting out your cars for Uber drivers, you can do that because you already have the fleet to do that. We spoke about the chauffeuring service. You know, we have SUVs. And we've had people say, hey, I'll drive for you, you know, chauffeuring service. You can do subleases to other, you know, car companies. Maybe they're short on their, you know, their fleet, and, you know, you have a bigger fleet and they say, hey, can I sublease one of your cars? That's another way to build partnerships, because now they keep their credibility because they don't have to cancel their, you know, renter's trip, and they'll just pay you to use your car. So now you're building that credibility, you know, with them too, because, oh yeah, I got a car for you and it's a nice car, you know, so you have that option. You have the opportunity to create a marketplace, you know, a one-stop shop where you can have an auto body shop. You can have a mechanic shop. You know, you can sell cars there that you want to defleet. You can lease to own cars. There's so many things that you can do with what you already have to where it can be literally expansion is, inevitable at this point, because you may say, you know what, for this car, we don't want to rent it out anymore, but we know someone who would like a long-term lease with this car, and we can lease it to that person, keep it on our fleet, but still create kind of a passive income because they're going to rent it every 30 days, so it's just so many opportunities with it, and we're taking advantage of a lot of them this year, but they're going to continue to pop up, especially as people get more familiar with how you operate. They're going to come to you and say, hey, have you thought about this, or would you like to do this?
And so just like you said, I love that opportunity because, when you get into the industry, a lot of times your goal is to make money. And once you make that dollar amount, it's like, what's next? And if you haven't known, if you haven't become an entrepreneur, you need to know that it is not a matter of you keep staying the same. Because if you try to stay the same, you're going down. So your goal has to continue to increase. You have to continue to increase in your business. You have to continue to grow for it to make sense. We may diversify, maybe some different cars in different locations. But also, like you said, you got auto body shops. Why would you need that? Well, you're sending your cars or mechanics and different people, or you're sending your cars to get worked on. Mechanics are coming over to work on your cars. So why not eventually, when you have a big enough fleet, hire your own mechanic and hire your own guy to work on the cars for you. It's only going to be advantageous for you to be able to get your own location and be able to do that. And those are natural businesses that just, evolve from you doing a great job at your car sharing business. You're talking about getting your car rental license. Getting your car rental license, your rental car license allows you to not just to sell the cars, your dealer's license, Getting your dealer's license doesn't just allow you to sell the cars, but it also, like you said, allows you to be able to lease the cars out. And so you're talking about going and you see Honda and all these Toyota and all these companies that are selling cars. You essentially can do the same thing. After you literally rent them out, you sell them and you're making double on that. And so there's a lot of opportunities, guys. And the thing is that when you come in here, of course, your focus is let me just get some cars and put them out and rent them out. But you got to get very strategic with your plan because there's going to be some things that's going to knock at your door. And if you're not prepared, every day you're going to wake up and it's going to be something new that you're dealing with. And you're going to wake up like, where'd the money go? Where did I invest it in? This car's down. And so, again, you have to be very intentful. You have to have a plan. And these opportunities, they're there, but they just don't fall in your lap. You're going to have to put some effort into it. You got some tips for these guys, Ron?
We covered a lot, but, my main thing is when someone asks me, about this business, I'm not going to dig into your background. Business is business. It's going to take work, and it's not a pretty business. Like Mike said, it's a boring business. It's day to day. It's mundane. You know what I'm saying? It's the same stuff over and over. But I would say the first thing you need to do is to know your market, because the worst thing you can do is go buy an asset and it end up being a terrible liability because it's not good for your market. The second thing I would say is connect with people that's been doing it so you can understand. Let them tell you some of the scary stories to really see if you're built for this business or if you're interested in this business, because you got to be willing to get a phone call at 2 a.m., saying, hey, man, the car caught a flat tire. I had to leave. I left it on the side of the road. The keys are here. Good luck. You got to be able to stomach that type of phone call at 2 a.m. You know what I'm saying? So it's things that you have to understand about this business before you just jump in. Because the thing about it, when you jump in and you buy a car, that car is yours. TURO doesn't care what's happening with that car. That payment is going to have to be made. So you're going to have to know, okay, well, I'm ready for this type of stuff. And you're not going to be ready for everything, but you just have to have the mindset that I'm going to overcome and I'm going to keep learning how this business, because like Mike said, year 2, we did over $600,000 in this business. We started with $5,500. This is a great lucrative business to be in, but you got to make sure that you're ready for this type of business, because you're not going to be able to grow that fast by just taking it easy. Yep. You got to be very intentional with how you move in this business, because you can be in business today and out of business tomorrow. We saw it.
Say here today and gone tomorrow.
We saw it happen. We saw a lot of people excited, about the money making. Then boom, one total car can ruin your whole business. And we've had total cars. Yep. We had stolen cars. We had to go repo cars. Yep. It happens. Whew. But like Mike was saying, this year we're going to double our revenue. We're already on pace to double our revenue because we decided to stick it out and learn about this business. So that would be the main tips. know your market and connect with some other people, that can, show you some different ways on how to operate.
If they wanted to connect with you, Ron, could you tell them how they can connect with you?
Yeah, for sure. So the easiest way is going to be on Instagram, just Ron Jennings _ You can find me there. Or you can go to TNT Rentals LLC. That's our business page. You can connect with me there. But yeah, I'm always open to help people get started. I've helped a lot of people out, get started. I've even helped people buy their first cars, not pay for them, but pick out their first cars. Because people have a mindset of what's going to work, and it's like the total opposite of that, sometimes. But yeah, you guys can reach out to me. I'm an open book, man. I'll give you all the knowledge that I have that can help you get started. But I just want to make sure that, you guys get off to a good start, because it's a risky business. It's a lot of money. Yeah. My wife and I, we left our full-time jobs. We had corporate jobs making over six figures. We weren't making, just a little money to, barely get by. We were making good money. We left our jobs for this business. So we take it serious. So if you come to me, I'm going to take you serious, and I'm going to help you get started.
Ron, I appreciate you, big dog.
Yeah, man.
Always a pleasure. I'm going to leave you guys with this. So, my one tip for you guys, when you're starting a business, I want you to understand, like, you have a focus on what you're doing, but it's so much that is going to evolve in the back end. I guess, how do I say it? You're starting it with your initial thought of saying, hey, I'm going to make my money off of renting cars, but there's so much going on behind you that you don't even realize. And I want you to understand your business credit and your personal credit. If you just take care of that, it's just going to open doors for you, because there's so much cash that goes through your business. Banks, people are out there, they want to lend and give you money because they see that and because you have an opportunity to make good money in this industry. And so keep your business credit right, your personal credit right. Those two things go hand in hand, especially if you're going to do good here and you're going to, run a good business. Man, utilize that. You know what I mean? Utilize that. Ron and I this year, we're going to go on a funding spree. We're going to go on a funding spree. And why? Because we have the business credit, we have the personal credit, we have the cash flow. And again, it takes 2 years for you guys to get a lot of the funding opportunities. Your business has to be open 2 years, to get access to a lot of these opportunities. And so now we're on year 3, and so that we have access to it. So realize, hey, listen, I'm starting here, but understand there's levels to this. And so as you evolve, you need to make sure your personal credit and your business credit is A1. If you need help with business credit, again, I have business trade lines, and I do coach and consult on how to get your business credit to where it needs to be at, to walk in the bank and get any loan, line, credit card that you want. But again, baby, this is the Risk Takers Only podcast. If you like the show today, comment, subscribe. Please pay attention to the show notes. If you want to get in contact with me and you want to know more about the car sharing business or the freight brokerage or anything else that guys help you just to shake that 9 to 5 and start creating some own income for yourself and get to that financial freedom that you guys want, talk to me.
Yeah.
Guys, we're out here.